Getty. David Lidington has warned the SNP could split the UK's economy. David Lidington, the Minister for the Cabinet Office and Theresa May's de facto deputy, wrote ahead of a major speech on Monday that an attempt by the SNP to seize control of key trade powers would leave Britain struggling to make our way in a new world outside the EU. John Swinney, Scotland's Deputy First Minister, intervened following a meeting of ministers from nations in the UK, where Mr Lidington made a considerable offer to pass many EU powers to Edinburgh, Cardiff and Belfast after the UK's departure from the EU, after months of negotiations. But SNP ministers at the same meeting said the country should remain within the single market and customs union after Brexit. Speaking about the government's proposals, Mr Lidington said Westminster would only be involved where to protect the UK internal market. To meet our international obligations, we need a pause to give the governments time to design and put in place a UK-wide framework. Mr Lidington also said it would result in a disjointed economy. Writing in The Telegraph, he added, "We could choose to leave as a country split and an economy disjointed, struggling to make our way in a new world outside the EU, or we can come together as one united kingdom, confidently seizing new global opportunities as we build a prosperous, secure nation fit for the future challenges we will face. By maintaining legal UK frameworks where strictly necessary, we retain our ability to act in the national interest when we need to, protecting our nation's security, assigning trade deals with the growth markets of tomorrow, using the leverage and the diplomatic network of the UK to sell Islay whiskey, carefully cheese and buses from Ballymena throughout the world." Monday, May 22, 2017. SNP leader Nicola Sturgeon stops for an ice cream after making an election campaign visit to Scottish Gas HQ in Granton, Edinburgh. The Tory MP suggested that the Scottish and Welsh governments risk damaging the UK's ability to act in the national interest and forge new trade agreements by opening the door to different sets of rules in each part of the UK. Mr Lidington, who replaced Damian Green in last month's reshuffle, also warned that any differences between England, Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland would lead to unnecessary disruption for domestic trade. Theresa May has revealed that she told cabinet ministers that with good decisions, Brexit will be the beginning of a bright new chapter in our national story, and our best days really do lie ahead of us. However, ministers fear that if there is any great difference in areas such as food safety and chemical standards, including items like bleach and paint, it could hold them back when they attempt to strike trade deals. On behalf of the UK, Getty. Mr Lidington said it would result in a disjointed economy. David Lidington's comments come after SNP ministers accused the UK government of a power grab over its demands that food standards and regulation of chemicals should be returned to Westminster to ensure continuity across the UK following Britain's departure from the bloc. Mr Swinney this week said Holyrood needed the power to act differently in Scotland when that is the right thing to do. While the government's EU withdrawal bill is drafted, 111 powers would be handed from Brussels to Whitehall on policy areas that have been delegated to Holyrood. The Welsh government has identified 64 devolved powers. Getty. David Lidington's comments come after SNP ministers accused the UK government of a power grab. A Whitehall source said Welsh ministers had taken a more conciliatory approach. Mr Lidington's offer is believed to have pleased Scottish Conservatives, who had publicly complained about Clause 11 of the withdrawal bill, which allows ministers to transfer all powers to Westminster. However, SNP ministers continued to hold out for a better offer. Theresa May will call a special cabinet meeting this Thursday to present the conclusions reached by the Brexit subcommittee. On Friday, the Prime Minister will announce the conclusions in a speech in the North East.